In this video I'm going to be making this out of a single sheet of flat steel. It's the bottom of the A-post here on the Rancho. And I'm going to be doing it using only simple basic metalworking tools, the first of which I'm going to begin by making myself. I'd ordered some steel tubing from my usual supplier and I was just sitting there wishing that it hadn't got lost in transit when my friend Mike dropped by with a van load of steel on his way to the scrap man and asked if I wanted any. And I did. So a pipe anvil is basically just a frame made of steel tubes designed for putting a curve into sheet metal. But first I've got to find out how much of a curve I need to put into it. I marked a crease for folding using the bead roller since it was set up handy, but I could equally easily have done this with a hammer and a cold chisel resting the steel on a rubber mat. That fold is just a little bit too low and the curve isn't quite sharp enough, but both of those are easily fixed. That's better. This is the tool rest from an old lathe, another refugee from the scrap pile, now enjoying a new life as an anvil for small radius curves. If enjoying is the right word for being hit repeatedly with a dead blow hammer. Where these leaves of steel are folded over, they overlap, so there's an iterative process of bending and folding and then cutting out the overlap with either some tin snips or with the grinder, until there's a nice even gap between them, which I can then weld up. This is a precision fine adjustment tool. It only looks like a hammer. I'm using a piece of flattened copper pipe as a heatsink here so that I don't blow through the metal and to make it easier to bridge the gaps. I'm just giving it a quick prime with some U-Pol weld-through primer just to stop it flash rusting for now. It'll get painted properly once it's been spot welded onto the car. I do find this oddly satisfying. And there it goes. I'm pretty happy with that, and now that I've got all of these bits to the right shape, I don't need this datum anymore. I can start to cut away all this mess, all this rot and patchwork and stuff, and I can start tackling what's behind, which also needs some repair. So that should be fairly straightforward. But I've said that before.